I'm very honored to be joined by Rav Chaim Michoel Gutterman, the executive director of Shuvu. You know, there's so many
Yeah,
times I was offered by different people in Shuvu to come to Eretz Yisrael to see the incredible work you guys do. And now it seems like there's a collaborative effort with the film that I'm doing, Hidden Light, which is one of the big themes at Shuvu. You take kids from families who know nothing about Yiddishkeit, buried under years of communism, and you bring them out to Eretz Yisrael and uncover the hidden spark of the neshama by teaching them about Hashem and Torah and mitzvahs.
exactly. First of all, in a here, you still have to come and see it for yourself. But in the meantime, we'll speak, and I'll tell you that you're dealing with the menorah, explaining about the menorah. So I was thinking that Rabbi, when he founded Shuvu, so he was debating what should be done for the Russian Jews coming to Israel. We're talking about in 1990, when they were coming 1,000 a day. And his conclusion was the Russian parents are coming there for the children. They want the children to grow up in Israel. They wanted to get Jewish education and a general education. So let's forget about the parents, because the parents you compare to grown-up trees with strong roots, it's very difficult to move them from one place to another. But if you work with the children, you can plant new trees and give them the Yiddishkeit, and then they bring it back to the parents. So I was thinking, since your subject is the menorah, when the Chashmonoim were looking for the Pach Hashemen, right? So everything was tummy. They had nothing to light up the menorah with, till they found the Pach Shemen, which was the chosemes of the Kohen HaGodl. The Kohen HaGodl here of Tam, he was the Kohen HaGodl of this generation. And he said, all the Shemen, the grown-ups, unfortunately, the communists, whatever the Jews there, it's very difficult to light it up. But if you take the Pach Shemen at a whole, if you take the children and you use that Shemen and you start lighting those children, then you bring back after that also the parents. Start with the children, give them back the Yiddishkeit, and they will bring it again to the parents. So that was Rapam's mission when he founded Shuvu. And for people who don't know, Shuvu started small, but today it's a network of schools all over Israel, from kindergarten throughout high school, from Beersheba to Akko in the whole of Israel. That was Rapam's vision. Take the Shemen as a whole and light that up. So that's very much dealing with right now with doing your research about the menorah from the Beis Hamikdash.
That's such a beautiful parallel. I'm busy with the menorah and you're busy with lighting the menorah, with finding the Pach Shemen HaTorah with the chesemes of the Kohen Gadol, Rav Pam. You know, Rav Pam was my neighbor. We lived many years next to Rav Pam in Kensington, in East Ninth. And I remember watching him daven, or I remember he would sit in the Beis Medrash, not by the Mizrach. And he was such a humble Anav with such a caring heart for every single Yid. So, Lamaisa, you're carrying on the mission. Maybe if he's the Kohen Gadol, you're the Sgan Kohen Gadol.
I'm not a Kohen, but I'm trying to do the shlichus. For 10 years, I had supposed to work on, and now his Talmidim are carrying on, and I'm Sachakon the Shaliach, and that's just want to carry out the mission.
Wow. Can you tell me a few stories? Do you have any personal stories, examples?
Yeah.
I'm pretty have hundreds, because I'm a story guy. So if you could give me the top 2-3 stories that Shuvu has that are examples that illustrate that lighting the menorah.
Yeah, I would say Rashi brings down the idea of Shuvu's work is to light up the kids till they carry on themselves what they learn from us. Boys who don't have the possibility to have their own bar mitzvah at home, so Shuvu run their bar mitzvah, and we give out tefillin to some of the boys whatever we can. So, guy, he saw a kid where we gave out tefillin to a few of our Jewish students. So he called me up and he says to me, "Are you still giving out tefillin?" He's now married with 3 children. He's a frum guy, married. He worked in the Air Force in Israel. And he asked, "Are you still giving out tefillin? Because I still have the tefillin that you gave me at my bar mitzvah." Today is 34, so quite a few years ago. So I said, "Sure, we still have the program. We're giving out tefillin." So he says to me, "How much would it cost for the out tefillin?" I said to him, 2,840 shekel. It's about $750. He said, "Okay, I'll get back to you." 10 minutes later, he calls me back. He would like to give 22 pairs of tefillin. 22 pairs. He said, "What's your bank account number?" And he sent me a transfer of 62,000 shekel. So this is a boy who started in shul. He comes from zero, and he became from. He's got a from family, wife, and children. And today he's giving back what he got from shul and giving 22 shul boys their tefillin. That's called you light the candle, and then they carry on, and they are mashpia on others. And when I spoke to the bar mitzvah boys, I told them exactly that. You are the representatives of what you learned in shul. When you carry on after your bar mitzvah, when you carry on after you graduate in shul, you have to be an example for others. But there's so many who still don't have the source to learn in shul. So you are the ones, like a Palm one, who can carry on the flame and pass on the Yiddishkeit to others. I'll tell you that 2 years ago, we have a program where the families come to see what a real Shabbos is like. And I remember, like today, that in our home, we had a mother, a grandmother, and the grandchild who learned to shul, and the grandmother didn't speak a word of Hebrew. She came to us for Friday night, and we were saying Divrei Torah, or we were saying Smiras, and suddenly we look at her, and she's crying. She's crying away. And we don't understand what we do wrong. And we don't speak Russian, so we asked the mother to translate. So she's telling us this grandmother grew up in Russia. She believed that the most important in life is science and math and whatever she gave to her children in the communist Russia. And in 1 second, all that broke down. So much more important than everything she believed in her whole life. And she just burst out in tears. This is the Haitian labor also get to the children, and the children then get back to the parents and the grandparents.
These are absolutely incredible stories. These are just mind-blowing stories. It's very interesting because when I was in Rome and we were filming for this production, so we stopped at the Arch of Titus, the Shar Titus, and I stopped.
Yes.
People were walking up to the arch. I stopped them with a mic. I said, "Do you know where you're going right now?" And nobody knew. I said, "You don't know where you're going? You know what this arch is called?" Nobody, even non-Jews, nobody even knew where they're going. They just saw a nice ancient arch. That's what they knew. They didn't know what the name was. And when I asked them, "Do you know who King David was?" King David, David HaMelech. They said, "Oh, yeah, we know. We learned about him in the Bible." So, the idea that our generation, they know who David HaMelech was. They know Shema Yisrael. But it has to be brought out from within them. And this is exactly what Tshuva is doing. And then once you bring it out and you light that candle, then they're able to light the others and the parents, which is incredible.
Exactly.
Incredible to hear about.
I'll tell you that there's a fellow called Evgeny Sova. I don't know if you heard the name, but he is a member of the Knesset, and he's in the party of Gutterman, Israel Beitenu, which is not known to be exactly friendly to religious Jews. But this Evgeny Sova is sending his daughters in shul, to the shul school. And 2 years ago, he told me, "I'm sending my girls to shul because I want them to get a basic Jewish education, but they can do whatever they want, whatever they choose. But as soon as they'll tell me what to do, then it might be the time to take them out of the school." That's what he said 2 years ago. But last year, we went to the school. We had a visit of a Shuva mission, and we went to speak to the girls about the Shabbos experience. We had like Shabbos with the children for Shabbos. And Evgeny Sova's daughter got up and she spoke about her experience from this Shabbos. And she said, you know what? My father started making Kiddush at home. This is Evgeny Sova, who said, if my daughter is going to tell me what to do, I'll take her out of the school. He's not taking her out of the school. She's bringing back him to Yiddishkeit.
That's amazing to hear. That's just mind-blowing. You're talking about the menorah needed hatavas haneiros. They needed constant care. So my question to you is, wherever I went in Rome, I saw menorahs. We went down in the tunnels of the catacombs. We went even on the Italian Parliament Square. There's a hidden menorah there. There are menorahs everywhere. The message of the menorah is clear, that we have to be a light unto the nations, to the entire world. That's why the menorah was positioned in the Beis HaMikdash in a way where it's shown outward. The windows were narrow on the inside and wider on the outside. My question is, the menorah also needed care. Hatavas haneiros. Do you keep up with children after they leave?
So first of all, even in the schools, there's a hatavas haneiros, which means besides the actual teaching of the subjects that we have, Baruch Hashem, we have teachers who are very devoted to the students and they invite them home and so on. But there's Chagim, there's Pesach, there's Hanukkah. What we do is that we keep connecting with the families through the Chagim. If it's Leila Seder, if it's giving out Kimcha de Pisa, if it's Arba Minim that we give to the students to take it home, or Hanukkah or Purim. So what we try, first of all, throughout the year, Shuva has summer camps where we keep the children also during the summer. And obviously also the graduates, we have kesher with the graduates, the teachers keep a kesher. We have shiurim going on where they come back to the schools and they connect. So fortunately, we have tens of thousands of kids, and not all of them we keep up with. In the war, fortunately, 4 graduates of Shuvul was killed as soldiers during the war. And one of them was he was going to mikveh every day in the army. He was mamish Zohar Kodesh. Another one kept his kippah on whenever under the kastar in the army. The third one kept sleeping every day in the army. So each one of them, even after leaving Shuvul, and if they go to the army, whatever they got from Shuvul, it stays for a lifetime. It never goes away. Whatever they got from the warmth of the teachers, the dedication of the teachers, that's something that you can never take away from them. So it stays. And whatever we can, never we do, but obviously there's so many that make up a lot of society in Israel in a positive and in a Jewish way, the ones who went through Shuvul.
Chaim Michoel, I feel like the next time I'm in Eretz Yisrael, I must come visit. I have to see this firsthand, but for now, I'm excited for people to hear about it through this conversation, through our conversation over here. And also, when people watch the film and they see the quest and the stashik for the menorah, they'll realize and appreciate how Shuvul is involved in not just the search for the menorah, but the mission of lighting the menorah, lighting the neshamas of Klal Yisrael. So I appreciate the opportunity for this conversation and for the partnership. Any last words before you go?
Yes, I would like to maybe give out a message, because we all went through the 7th of October and we know what's been going on since then. And my personal feeling is that what happened before the 7th of October, everybody knows there was a lot of split in Klal Yisrael, in Eretz Yisrael, a lot of internal discussions. And if we are strong from within, then no enemies can win us. This is a time, 3 weeks in Tisha B'Av, time where we have to be marbe in Avas Chinam instead of Sinas Chinam. And I can tell you, this is a very important message to everyone who watches this film. We made a survey a few weeks ago, and 77% of the secular Jews and the Masoretim are interested after the war in more Yiddishkeit. They would come to a Shuvah school if there was one in their town. We have to reach out. I'm telling any teenager or any child, this is a time to look out for other Jews and to bring them closer. They want to come closer. And if we're strong from within, then nobody can win us from the outside.
A better message you couldn't have given, Rav Chaim Michoel. That's the message we need to hear, especially during the 3 weeks and the 9 days coming up. A message of unity, to be strong from within. And if we're united from within, no enemy can ever overcome us. So, Me'etzah Hashem, may this conversation bring Izuk and inspiration, Rav Chaim Michoel, and may it continue Siyata D'Shmai in your Avodas HaKodesh in carrying forward the shlithus of the Kohen Gadol, Moreinu Rav Pam,